Welcome to the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show.
Cup of Joe Wrestling Show?
With Joey Harris. A podcast for the wrestling fan on the go. So take your favorite beverage of choice and join Joey as he takes a look at some of the biggest shows on the WWE Network.
From makeshift studios in the shadow of South Central Virginia, this is the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show. I am your host, Joey Harris. Follow the show on Twitter at Cup of Joe Pod. Email the show at cupofjoewrestlingshow@gmail.com. And folks, this week I had to mail a letter. I go to the post office. I'm just going in, putting my letter in the slot, and leaving. But life had other plans for me. I go in, I put my letter in the slot, I turn around, there's a man there at those little tables that people can open their mail or address mail or, the little tables they have at the post office. And he says, "Are you ready for the Russians? The Russians are coming." And then he proceeds on a gigantic conspiracy theory for like 30 seconds. That something's going to happen in 4 weeks and it's going to take 4 weeks, or maybe they're going to last for 4 weeks. Something about 4 weeks. I didn't fully understand. I'm like, okay. That's all I said was okay. Because you do not, whatever, want to converse. I said I understood by saying okay. That's as far as he got with me. You converse, you're done. That guy will have you there all day. Later on, I went to get a haircut. And he had made his way about a mile up the road near the place where I was getting the haircut. So I said, let me get this haircut and leave. Now today, going on vacation with my wife, I have the day off. She does not. So we're leaving from her work. She's a teacher. I drive her to school. I come back and I'm like, ooh, I'm hungry. It's breakfast time. And I go and order. I have the app for this place, Sheetz. So real big fancy gas station chain. I know they don't have them everywhere, but it also has good food. And so I order a breakfast burrito on the app, and for my meat, I order steak and whatever else. And I get there about 20 minutes after the app says the order is going to be ready. I get gas. I go in to use the restroom. I pass where they leave the mobile orders. No burrito. Okay, no problem. Go in, use the bathroom, wash my hands, come out. No burrito. I'm standing there waiting because day off, I don't have anywhere to be. And after about 3 minutes, somebody yells out, "Joseph," which is what I have in the app. And I said, yes. And she comes out to me, and imagine your personalized phone booth. Imagine you're in a phone booth. People should respect your phone booth. Don't get in the phone booth with you. This woman entered my personal phone booth of personal space and got close enough where she would be dialing a phone number with me to tell me that they were out of steak. What else did I want with my burrito? I had to back up a step to tell her sausage would be fine. Then she got out of my personal space about a step and a half. So now she's out of my phone booth area to then yell back that sausage would be okay with me. I have social anxiety and weird things happen to me. It's on my Twitter profile for a reason. Today, Project 45 stops in the year that I became a fan, 1991, with a look at SuperTape 3 from the WWF. The SuperTape series was one of several series that Coliseum Video and the WWF would release around their Big Four pay-per-view releases. This one was released January the 24th, 1991. We start out with our SuperTape 3 intro. Sean Mooney and Lord Alfred Hayes are the hosts, and they're doing a lame routine where they are the pilots of an airliner. We then get WWF Hasbro commercials. Our first match, WWF Intercontinental Championship match. The Texas Tornado versus Mr. Perfect. Perfect comes in and does the gum swat. Tornado comes out to a good ovation. The bell rings and they are just staring at each other. They lock up and Tornado with the push off and Perfect goes flying in a classic Kurt Hennig sell job. Another lockup and Tornado pushes off again. Another lockup and drive back to a corner. Breaking, they both try for punches and both are blocked. Another lockup and drive to a corner where Perfect unloads some chops on Tornado. Tornado reverses a corner whip and Perfect comes back with a sleeper. Tornado starting to fade. He gets back to his feet and then breaks the hold. Perfect with a knee to the back of Tornado's head and reapplies the hold. Tornado back down to his knees and trying not to pass out. Tornado gets back to his feet again and breaks the hold. Perfect pushes off, and when Tornado comes back, Perfect again puts him in the sleeper. This time, Tornado goes down to his back and is almost out. Just as Perfect tells the referee to be ready to ring the bell, Tornado makes it back to his feet. He gets to the corner turnbuckle. Perfect on offense. He chops Tornado in a corner, then does a snapmare and his patented rollover snapmare to Tornado. He then gets a small package for a 2 count. Perfect then hits Tornado with some big right hands. He then drops an elbow on Tornado. He gets another 2 count. Back and forth in the center of the ring. Perfect with an Irish whip. Goes for a drop kick, but Tornado holds onto the rope. Tornado comes back with some big right hands. Perfect comes back with a right hand and goes for a double axe handle from the second rope, but Tornado catches him in the claw when he jumps off. Perfect fighting it, but he is starting to fade. He does make it to the ropes, so Tornado breaks the hold and hits Perfect with the spinning discus punch. Perfect falls to the outside of the ring. Tornado follows him out and chops him down. He hits Perfect several times and goes to run him headfirst into the corner post, but Perfect pushes Tornado into the post instead. Perfect gets back in the ring, and the bell rings right before Tornado gets back in. Perfect wins by count out, but of course doesn't win the title. Perfect grabs the Intercontinental Championship and holds it up like he has won it anyway. The ring announcer tells everyone that the Texas Tornado is still the Intercontinental Champion, so Perfect drops the belt, and as Tornado picks it up, Perfect attacks him. They go back and forth in the middle of the ring. Tornado gets an Irish whip and goes to put the claw on it again, but Perfect bails to the outside of the ring. Perfect arguing with the referee on the outside. Jimmy Snuka versus the Barbarian. This match looks like it took place at the same taping as the last match. Mooney mentions that they are in Toronto, Canada. The bell rings and they are slow to start. They are circling each other. They finally lock up and Barbarian pushes off. Snuka comes back with his woo, woo, woo sound to piss Barbarian off, which I would personally never want to do. Snuka must be channeling 2011's Zack Ryder. I wouldn't be surprised if he busted out with a "you know it" to the crowd, but of course they would be confused. So I digress. They lock up again and drive back to the ropes. They break and Barbarian pushes Snuka down. They circle each other again, and Snuka looking out to the crowd. This is a boring match so far. Don't tell them I said that, though. Another lockup and Barbarian with a side headlock. Snuka trying to break the hold, but Barbarian puts it on tighter. Snuka pushes off, and Barbarian comes back with a shoulder block. Barbarian runs the ropes, and Snuka hits him with a big chop. Another couple of chops, and Barbarian will not go down. Snuka goes to the second rope and comes off with a double chop to Barbarian's shoulders. More chops to Barbarian, and Snuka runs and finally knocks Barbarian down with a shot. Barbarian rolls to the outside to regroup, and the crowd is booing him. Back in the ring, Snuka gets a side headlock on. Barbarian pushes off and they do a double shoulder block and neither man moves. Snuka dodges a clothesline attempt and comes back with a flying body tackle to Barbarian. He gets a 1 count. Snuka follows that up with a drop kick. Barbarian rolls back outside to regroup and he yells at the referee. Back in the ring, they circle each other again. Barbarian asks for a test of strength. Snuka woos the crowd again. More circling each other. In this case, I wish the circle was broken and that they would just get on with it. They finally lock up and Barbarian with a knee to the midsection. He follows that up with a forearm to the back. He then stomps on Snuka while he is down on his knees near the ropes. Another stomp and Snuka is just hanging on the second rope. Barbarian with a forearm to Snuka and grabs Snuka by the hair. Barbarian with an Irish whip drops his head too early and Snuka kicks him in the face. He chops Barbarian a couple of times and then grabs a wrist lock on. Barbarian gets an Irish whip and goes for a hip lock, but Snuka blocks it. Snuka tries to hip lock Barbarian, but Barbarian blocks it and clotheslines Snuka down. Barbarian then poses for the crowd and then attacks Snuka. He Irish whips Snuka, misses a back elbow, but catches Snuka with a knee to the stomach. He then kicks Snuka to the outside of the ring. Barbarian then comes out to attack Snuka with kicks. He then picks Snuka up and runs him back first into the ring post. Barbarian rolls back into the ring, to break the count and then runs Snuka into the barricade. Barbarian back in and threatens the referee. Snuka gets back on the apron, and Barbarian comes over to hit him with a forearm to knock him down. Snuka comes back with a shoulder to the midsection and a sunset flip, and Barbarian fighting hard not to go down. Barbarian drops down for a 2 count, but Snuka gets his legs up and hooks Barbarian's shoulders and gets a 2 count of his own. Barbarian comes back with a kick. Barbarian with a corner whip and a bear hug to Snuka. The referee checks the arm, but it doesn't go down a 3rd time. Snuka with a double chop to the shoulders to break the hold. Barbarian with a kick to the stomach. Barbarian then goes back to the bear hug. Again, the arm doesn't fall 3 times. Barbarian keeps the hold on, though. Snuka with a couple of double chops to break the hold. He then headbutts Barbarian. Snuka runs to the ropes. Barbarian puts his head down to backdrop Snuka, so Snuka headbutts the back of Barbarian's head instead. Snuka then gets Barbarian in the corner and delivers a couple of chops to Barbarian's shoulders. He then chops Barbarian in the chest, and Barbarian is woozy. Snuka with a diving thrust to knock Barbarian down to the mat. Snuka hesitating, looking around to the crowd before delivering a falling headbutt to the Barbarian. He gets a 2 count. Snuka with some shots to Barbarian's stomach, but Barbarian reverses a corner whip. Snuka rushes and comes back with a reverse crossbody on Barbarian, but Barbarian rolls through and gets a 2 count on Snuka. Snuka with a corner whip, but Barbarian gets his boot up on the charge. Barbarian then rolls Snuka up and uses his feet on the second rope for leverage to pin Snuka. Earthquake with Jimmy Hart versus Tugboat. Mooney is being coy when he announces this match, saying it is a tag team match with only 2 men, signifying their future as a tag team. I see what you did there, Sean. Tugboat does get a great reception when he comes out. He attacks Earthquake as soon as he gets in the ring. Tugboat with a corner whip and a clothesline. He then hip tosses Earthquake out of the corner. Earthquake rolls to the outside to regroup. Back in the ring, Tugboat kicks Earthquake, puts him in a side headlock, and then starts punching him in the face. Earthquake pushes off and a double shoulder block, and neither man moves. Another lock up, and Earthquake with a side headlock. Tugboat pushes off, and again, they have a double shoulder block, and neither man moves. Earthquake tries the shoulder block again, and Tugboat doesn't move. Earthquake then does a drop kick to knock Tugboat down in an awesome looking move. He then stomps Tugboat while he is down and then stands on him for a few seconds. He then grabs Tugboat from behind and runs him into the corner. He then stomps Tugboat again. He then chokes Tugboat for a 4 count. Referee Joey Morella gets him away, and then Earthquake goes back to choking for another 4 count as the Tugboat chant goes out. He then stomps and steps on Tugboat again, and this has not been a good night for Uncle Fred. Earthquake drops an elbow on Tugboat, then another elbow, and he gets a 2 count. Earthquake gets Tugboat up against the ropes and hits him with a big forearm. Earthquake with an Irish whip, and they are back to the double shoulder block, and again, neither man moves. Earthquake goes for another shoulder block, but Tugboat catches him with a clothesline. Tugboat follows that up with a big splash, but Morella is busy with Jimmy Hart, who has climbed up on the apron, so Tugboat goes after him. Hart slips away and starts yelling at Tugboat from the floor. Earthquake comes to, and Tugboat turns around and hits Earthquake with a drop kick of his own, and Earthquake gets knocked back and tied up in the ropes. Morella trying to get him untied. Tugboat starts beating on Earthquake, and Hart gets back up on the apron, so Tugboat goes after him. He grabs Hart and drags him inside the ring. Dino Bravo appears out of nowhere and attacks Tugboat, and the bell rings. Earthquake and Bravo with a double slam to Tugboat. Earthquake goes to do the sit-down splash on Tugboat, but he rolls out of the way and out of the ring. He grabs a chair and gets back in the ring, so the heels bail to the outside. 6-man tag team match. Demolition's Axe, Smash, and Crush versus the Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal, and the Ultimate Warrior. They are at Madison Square Garden for this encounter, and that's not really the venue for the Warrior. He does his running to the ring routine, but the aisle is too short. There are too many people around the ring. He knocked at least one guy down. It's a whole mess. Warrior gives his belt to the referee, as this was taped at the time he was WWF champion. As soon as he does, the faces each give a clothesline to Demolition, who bail out to the floor. Warrior posing on all of the turnbuckles as the referee is trying to get the match started. Animal and Smash start, and Smash attacks Animal from behind with a clothesline and then a double axe handle when he is down. Animal gets back up, and Smash attacks him with more shots to the stomach. Animal reverses an Irish whip and power slams Smash. He gets a 2 count. Animal drops an elbow on Smash. Smash with a thumb to the eye and Crush tagged in. Animal gets Crush in a wrist lock, tags Hawk in, and holds the wrist lock for Hawk to land a forearm shot from the second rope. Crush and Hawk pushing each other in the center of the ring. They lock up and then break almost immediately. Another lock up and break, and then they circle each other. Crush with a thumb to the eye, and then a throat thrust to Hawk. Crush follows that up with a backbreaker. Crush chops Hawk and then corner whips him. He then hits a running forearm to Hawk's back. Hawk reverses an Irish whip. Crush ducks one clothesline attempt, but Hawk hits him with another clothesline attempt. Hawk follows that up with a drop kick to finally knock Crush down. Hawk with an Irish whip and a flying shoulder tackle to knock Crush back down. Hawk then drops a fist on Crush while he is down. He gets a 2 count. Crush gets back up and Hawk chops him several times. He gets Crush in the side headlock. Crush with an eye gouge to break the hold, and Axe tagged in. Hawk kicks Axe and tags Warrior in. Axe immediately starts to beg off. Warrior kicking Axe in the corner. Axe reverses a corner whip, but Warrior gets his boot up on the charge. He follows that up with a clothesline. Smash comes in and Warrior scoop slams him down. Crush comes in and he too gets scoop slammed. Scoop slam to Axe, and Warrior goes for the big splash, but Axe moves out of the way. Axe hits Warrior with some powerful right hands while he is down on the ground. Axe then throws Warrior to the outside. Smash and Crush then attack Warrior on the outside. Warrior runs their heads together, and Crush comes back with shots to Warrior. Warrior gets back on the apron, and Axe drapes him backwards over the top rope and hits some big forearm shots to Warrior. Smash tagged in. He hits Warrior with some shots. Warrior comes back and guillotines Smash on the top rope. Smash comes back with a double axe handles to the back, and Crush tagged in. He grabs Warrior by the throat, and Warrior responds in kind. Axe holds Warrior for Crush to hit several times. Smash tagged in. He gets Warrior up on the ropes in the heels corner. Crush comes over and hits Demolition to get Warrior down, and Demolition throws Hawk out of the ring. Axe and Smash go for the Demolition decapitation on Warrior, but Animal breaks it up before they can do it. Animal tagged in. He Irish whips Axe and hits him with a back elbow. Smash comes in and Animal clotheslines him as well, and Gorilla Monsoon keeps calling Animal Hawk on commentary. Animal runs Axe into Smash, and then goes to put Axe in a position for the Doomsday device. Smash hits Animal before he can do it, so Hawk comes off the top rope onto Smash. Crush in, and he Irish whips Animal and gets him in a bear hug. Crush breaks the hold, and Smash tagged in. He gets Animal down by the ropes and attacks him. Axe then tagged in, and he hits Animal with a series of right hands. He gets an Irish whip, but drops his head too early, and Animal hits him with a double axe handle to the top of the head. Both men down. Crush tagged in, and he comes over and hits Hawk in the head to goad him in so that Demolition can gang up on Animal. They get Animal in the heels corner and choke him, which bring the faces in, but they are cut off by the referee. The referee gets the faces out of the ring while the heels work Animal over. Smash with the belly-to-back suplex for a 2 count. Smash with a chin lock on Animal as Warrior and Hawk try to get the crowd into the match. Animal with some elbows to the stomach to try to get out of the move. He does get out, but falls towards the heels corner. They grab him, and Axe tagged in. Axe with a snapmare and a chin lock to Animal. Animal gets to his feet and hits Axe. Animal goes to tag, but Axe cuts him off with a drop toe hold. Crush tagged in and runs Animal into a corner turnbuckle. He hits Animal with shots and chops, and then corner whips Animal. Animal comes out of the corner with a big clothesline. Warrior and Smash tagged in. Warrior knocks Smash down. He then clotheslines Smash and then clotheslines Axe off of the apron. LOD come in to take out the other members of Demolition, allowing Warrior to hit Smash with the flying shoulder tackle and splash to get the pin. The crowd goes crazy at the result, and Howard Finkel announcing the winners. We then go to a promo by the LOD. Hawk says that their dream is a nightmare for Demolition, but it's not a dream. It's reality. Demolition is going to hurt. The LOD is going to like it. Animal says there's no better nightmare than what they're going to do to Demolition. Demolition smash and crush with Mr. Fuji versus the Legion of Doom, Animal and Hawk. From an early 1991 Wrestling Challenge taping, Demolition has lost Axe but picked Fuji back up as a manager. Fuji yells at referee Earl Hebner to make the LOD take their spiked shoulder pads off. I get it, but it makes no sense since that is what they were in the middle of doing anyway. Animal and Crush start. They trade blows, and Animal with some forearms and a scoop slam to Crush. He goes to drop an elbow, but Crush moves. Crush with a scoop slam and goes for a leg drop, but Animal moves, and I'm sure Hulk Hogan is somewhere concerned that someone attempted his move, but it wasn't here because there is no way in the world that Hulk Hogan was working a wrestling challenge taping. All 4 men in now, and Hulk cuts Smash off with the clothesline. Animal with a nice belly-to-belly suplex to Crush. Demolition rolled to the outside to regroup. They confer with Fuji before getting back in the ring. Smash in and he wants Hulk, so Animal tags him in. Smash wants a test of strength. Hulk goes for it. Smash goes to hit Hulk, who blocks the shot and unloads on Hulk. He hits Smash with a series of rights, and then goes over and hits him with a series of corner-mounted punches. Smash comes out of the corner and goes towards Animal, not knowing where he is, and Animal hits him. Hulk knocks him down with the clothesline. Hulk with an Irish whip and a flying shoulder tackle to Smash. Smash comes back with a right hand and a wrist lock that Hulk reverses into a wrist lock of his own. Hulk with a clothesline. Hulk with a suplex attempt. Crush and Animal both come in, but the referee gets him out quickly as Hulk hits Smash some more, and Smash reverses an Irish whip. Fuji trips Hulk with his cane. Smash attacks Hulk from behind, and he spills to the outside right by Fuji. Animal comes in, but he is cut off by Smash and the referee, allowing Crush to come over, get Hulk in a front face lock, and Fuji hits Hulk in the back with his cane. Hulk goes down. Crush steps on him and then throws Hulk back in. Smash attacks Hulk with a double axe handle. He then asks Fuji how he likes that, and Fuji looks happy. Smash then chokes Hulk for a 4 count until the referee gets him off, allowing Fuji to then choke Hulk with his cane. Smash gets Hulk in a front face lock, tags Crush in, and Crush hits Hulk on the back with a double axe handle from the top rope. Crush gets Hulk up in a bear hug. Crush drives Hulk into the heels corner and Smash tagged in. Smash with some shots. Hulk blocks one and comes back with a shot of his own. Crush grabs Hulk's arm so he can't get away, allowing Smash to resume hitting him. Smash with a snapmare and a chin lock. Hulk fighting not to go out. He grabs Smash's wrists and powers out of the move and back to his feet. Smash with a knee to Hulk to knock him back down. Smash then goes Animal in by hitting him, allowing Demolition to double team Hulk while the referee is getting Animal out of the ring. Crush in and he continues to beat Hulk down. Hulk trying to get back to his feet and tag Animal in. Crush gets Hulk in a front face lock and hits a forearm to the back. Only Smash and referee Earl Hebner are still alive from all the participants in this match. Smash tagged in. He picks Hulk up and guillotines him on the top rope. Both Animal and Crush in, and the referee has to get them both out again. Crush tagged in and they do the Demolition decapitation to Hulk. Not as powerful as when Axe and Smash would do it, but your mileage may vary. Crush goes for the cover, but Animal comes over and puts Crush to the outside. Hulk ducks a clothesline attempt by Crush and then hits a clothesline of his own. Both men down and the double count going. Both Animal and Smash tagged in. Animal with an Irish whip and a power slam. Crush tries to come in and Animal hits him and then goes and kicks Smash in the stomach. Crush comes in and they attempt a double atomic drop, but Animal flips behind them and then clotheslines both members of the Demolition. He signals for the Doomsday device and goes to put Smash on his shoulders, but Fuji comes over and hits Hulk with his cane and Hulk falls to the ground. Crush comes in and clotheslines Animal from the back to keep him from tagging. Smash hits a backbreaker to Animal. Crush then hits a knee drop to Animal off the top rope. He only gets a 1 count as Hulk comes in and breaks up the pin attempt. Crush then clotheslines Hulk on the outside. Crush then goes outside after Hulk. Smash with a belly-to-back suplex. Smash tries to go for a pile driver, but Animal simply turns around and Hulk hits Smash with the Doomsday device and pins Smash. We then get a WWF Call of the Action feature on Shane Douglas. Marty Jannetty versus Paul Roma with Hercules. Shawn Michaels is injured and not in attendance, so Power and Glory flip a coin to see who takes on Jannetty and Roma wins. Jannetty attacks Roma before the bell rings. Roma with an Irish whip, and Jannetty ducks a clothesline attempt and grabs Roma's legs when he goes for a kick. Jannetty hits an atomic drop and follows that up with corner-mounted punches. Jannetty then takes Roma into the opposite corner and runs him into the turnbuckle there. Jannetty follows that up with a Hurricane Rana to the delight of the crowd. Jannetty with some big right hands. So Roma pulls Jannetty towards him and drops down, and Jannetty spills to the outside. Jannetty gets back up on the apron, and Roma hits him with a running knee to knock him off again. He does it again when Jannetty tries to get up, so Jannetty pulls Roma to the outside. Roma runs Jannetty into the side of the ring. Jannetty finally gets back in the ring, but Roma attacks him with kicks as soon as he gets in. Roma with an Irish whip, and Jannetty comes back with a sunset flip attempt. Roma fights going down and finally gets the momentum to stay up and goes to punch Jannetty in the face, but Jannetty moves and Roma punches the mat. Jannetty out on the apron. He blocks a Roma shot and slides back in between Roma's legs. Jannetty with an Irish whip, but drops his head too early, and Roma hits him with a forearm to the back. Roma stomping Jannetty. Roma follows that up with a couple of corner whips to knock Jannetty down to the mat. Roma hits Jannetty with a forearm to the back from off the top rope. He gets a 2 count. Roma follows that up with a couple of backbreakers and then gets Jannetty up on his shoulder and hits a running power slam. He comes over and high-fives Hercules. He then covers Jannetty with a casual cover, but only gets a 2 count. Roma with an Irish whip and goes for a hip lock, but Jannetty reverses it into a backslide, but only gets a 2 count. Roma gets up and starts stomping Jannetty. He goes to pick Jannetty up, but Jannetty gets a small package on Roma for a 2 count. Roma goes for a side headlock, Jannetty trying to get out of the move. A small Marty chant goes out. Jannetty moves to his knees and hits Roma with a series of shots to the midsection to try to get out of the hold. Jannetty gets out and ducks one clothesline attempt, but then Roma hits him with a clothesline from behind. Roma goes back to the rear chin lock. Jannetty trying to get back to his feet, and he finally does. He gets up and gets Roma on his back as Roma still has the hold on Jannetty. Jannetty heads backwards and runs Roma into the turnbuckle a couple of times to get him to release the hold. Jannetty reverses a corner whip, but Roma moves when Jannetty goes to splash him, and Jannetty hits the turnbuckle instead. Roma drops an elbow on Jannetty and goes back to the rear chin lock, figuring that it has worked for him for the most part so far. The referee goes down and checks on Jannetty, allowing Roma to put his feet on the ropes for leverage. He does it again when the referee goes back to check on Jannetty. The referee checks Jannetty's arm, but it doesn't fall a third time, and Jannetty is trying desperately to get out of the move. Jannetty gets back to his feet and hits a couple of elbows to Roma to break the hold finally. He ducks a clothesline attempt and hits Roma with a big right hand. Roma comes back and tries for a suplex, but Jannetty blocks it and turns it around and gets a suplex of his own. Back and forth in the middle of the ring. Jannetty gets an inverted atomic drop on Roma. Jannetty follows that up with a clothesline, and he is fired up. Jannetty with an Irish whip and a back elbow to Roma. Jannetty with an Irish whip, a shot to the midsection, and a knee lift to the face of Roma. Jannetty with a corner whip and a strike to Roma. Jannetty reverses another corner whip, and Jannetty gets his boot up on the charge. Jannetty with a face slam to Roma from the second rope. Jannetty then hits a fist drop from the top rope. He covers Roma, but Hercules pulls Jannetty out of the ring before the 3 count. Jannetty grabs Hercules and runs him into the apron. Back in the ring, Jannetty hits Roma with a super kick. Jannetty goes for a scoop slam, but Roma uses the leverage to fall on Jannetty, and Hercules grabs Jannetty's boot so he can't kick out, and Roma gets the pin. Jannetty complaining to referee Joey Morella, and Roma and Hercules denying that they did anything wrong, and livid that they're even being asked if they cheated. They keep arguing, and Jannetty attacks Hercules, leading to Power and Glory jumping Jannetty. More officials come in to break it up and get Power and Glory back to the locker rooms. Fan favorite match. The Humphrey family requests the Big Boss Man versus Ted DiBiase with Virgil. This match was recorded in Providence, Rhode Island, recorded at a Superstars of Wrestling taping. Boss Man comes in a house of fire and immediately goes after DiBiase before the bell rings, and DiBiase bails to the outside. Boss Man follows him out. He gets back in, but won't let DiBiase come in. DiBiase says, "You're a big man with that stick," as Boss Man has his nightstick to keep DiBiase out. DiBiase says to heck with this and starts to go to the back. He tells the referee to get the stick away or he is leaving. The referee gets the stick and Boss Man says to DiBiase, "Come in here, you're about to get your ass kicked." DiBiase finally up on the apron. The referee tries to get Boss Man away. Virgil climbs up on the apron and Boss Man starts to go after him. DiBiase tries to jump Boss Man from behind, but Boss Man runs him headfirst into the buckle instead. He runs him in several times. DiBiase begs off, but Boss Man won't let up. He gets an Irish whip and a shot to the stomach of DiBiase and then hits him with an inverted atomic drop. He follows that up with a big right hand and DiBiase rolls to the outside, and Boss Man comes out to follow him. He hits DiBiase with several rights and runs him headfirst into the apron. He then runs DiBiase headfirst into the apron again. He then runs DiBiase headfirst into the ring steps. He goes after Virgil briefly before taking his belt off and choking DiBiase with it behind the referee's back. He then whips DiBiase with his belt a couple of times before throwing the belt away and throwing DiBiase back into the ring. Mooney and Lord Alfred Hayes ponder if the boss man used to do that to prison inmates when he was a guard and conclude probably so. Maybe Nails had a point all those years ago. Boss man rakes DiBiase's back and hits him with the right hand to the face. He then headbutts DiBiase, who falls to his knees. Boss man with another right hand to DiBiase and goes for a splash, but DiBiase moves out of the way. While the referee checks on Boss Man, Virgil slips the nightstick to DiBiase, then distracts the referee so DiBiase can hit Boss Man with the nightstick. The referee comes over to question DiBiase, who claims Boss Man is out because he hit him with a forearm. Boss Man gets back up, and DiBiase pummeling him with more shots in the midsection. DiBiase knocks Boss Man to the outside. DiBiase comes out and stomps Boss Man from the apron and then runs him into a ring post. He then runs Boss Man into the ring steps. DiBiase then throws Boss Man back into the ring, and Boss Man hits him with a chop, but DiBiase returns the favor to drive Boss Man back to his knees. DiBiase with a series of double axe handles to the back of Boss Man. Then a double axe handle from the second rope to knock Boss Man back to the ground. He then stomps Boss Man a couple of times, and then corner whips Boss Man. When he comes out of the corner, DiBiase drives him back first into the corner again. DiBiase with an Irish whip and a clothesline to Boss Man. He tells Boss Man to get up, but Boss Man hits DiBiase with a flurry of shots to knock DiBiase down while Boss Man was still on his knees. He comes over to DiBiase, who hits Boss Man with several shots to the stomach. DiBiase with an Irish whip and a bear hug on Boss Man. Boss Man trying to hang on. The referee checks the arm, but it doesn't fall the third time. Boss Man with a thumb to the eye to break free. DiBiase reverses an Irish whip, misses the clothesline attempt, and then they clothesline each other and both are down in the middle of the ring. A double count going. Both up at 7. DiBiase goes up to the second rope, and Boss Man hits him with a shot to the midsection as he comes off. Boss Man then clotheslines DiBiase as he gets back up. Another couple of clotheslines and an inverted atomic drop. Then another clothesline, and Boss Man slingshots Virgil into the ring when he gets up on the apron. Boss Man with the clothesline and a big boot to Virgil. He then slams Virgil and DiBiase's heads together and clotheslines Virgil out of the ring. He then atomic drops DiBiase out of the ring as the bell sounds. DiBiase wins by disqualification. The crowd is not happy about the result. DiBiase and Virgil attack Boss Man in the ring after the match and then grab the nightstick. Boss Man rolls away and hits DiBiase to avoid getting hit with the stick. DiBiase and Virgil then leave. WWF Outrageous Hits feature on some devastating moves. Intercontinental Championship match. Mr. Perfect with Bobby Heenan versus Jake Roberts with Damien. Heenan reaches for Damien's bag, so Roberts drives towards the bag in the corner, allowing Perfect to attack Roberts from behind. Roberts comes back after a Perfect corner charge misses. Roberts with a wrist lock, and he locks the fingers and backdrops Perfect over. Roberts back into an armbar while Perfect is on the mat. Roberts turns Perfect over and gets a hammer lock and drives his knees into Perfect's back. Perfect gets back to his feet, but Roberts still has the wrist lock on, back and forth in the center of the ring. Roberts goes right back to the armbar. He drives Perfect down to the mat and then puts the armbar back on. Perfect struggling to get out of the move. Perfect with an arm drag to get Roberts off him, but Roberts goes right back to the move. Roberts turns it into a hammer lock. Perfect reverses it, but Roberts with an elbow to break the hold. Roberts goes right back to the armbar. Perfect reverses it back to a hammer lock, but again Roberts with an elbow that knocks Perfect to the outside. Heenan comes over and they confer. Roberts grabs Perfect by the wrist and drags him back in the ring. Perfect with a thumb to the eye to break the hold. Perfect with an Irish whip. Roberts grabs the ropes and backdrops Perfect out when he rushes Roberts. Roberts goes out and gets Perfect and throws him back inside. Heenan momentarily distracts Roberts as he goes to get back in, allowing Perfect to hit Roberts from behind. Perfect runs Roberts into a ring post. Perfect stomping Roberts on the outside. Back in, Perfect continues to stomp on Roberts while he is down. He gets Roberts in an armbar. He grabs the second rope for leverage when the referee isn't looking. Perfect with a wrist lock as Roberts has gotten back to his feet. Perfect drags him back down and keeps the hold on. Roberts gets back to his knees. Roberts gets back up. He Irish whips Perfect but drops his head early and Perfect kicks him in the face. He gets a 1 count. Perfect with a couple of corner whips. Roberts gets his boot up on the second one. A series of right hands knocks Perfect down. A clothesline and the crowd chants DDT. Roberts goes forward and Heenan comes in for the disqualification. Roberts goes to put Heenan in the DDT, but Perfect jumps Roberts from behind. The referee is thrown out of the ring. They grab Damien's bag and attempt to Perfect plex Roberts onto Damien, but Roberts grabs the top rope. He then DDTs Perfect. Heenan bails. Roberts gets Damien, and Heenan drags Perfect out of the ring. They then sign off from SuperTape 3. Final thoughts. This just brings me back to 1991 and my early days as a wrestling fan. If you are nostalgic for that time, I highly recommend this. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TheJoeyHairs. If you like the show, please leave a review on iTunes or Apple Podcasts. I would really appreciate it. You can also now support me on PayPal at paypal.me/cupofjoepod. Thank you for joining me this week. This is Joey saying so long from the heart of Virginia.
The Cup of Joe Wrestling Show is a production of Baby Kangaroo Media.